All right, the weather's better today than it has been for a little bit. Still muddy from the rain, but today we've got the Boundless Voyage canteen kit, and we tried it with twigs in the last video on this. They'll work with twigs. Where they really shine is with fuel tabs or alcohol stoves, and that's what I'm covering today is a Trangia alcohol stove. These are made in Sweden. They're brass. They run in on Amazon about 17.5, somewhere in there. The cool thing about it, unlike some of them, they're sealed, so you can actually, once you get the fire out, you can seal them up and carry them around with alcohol in them. Don't know if I'd store them that way, but there's that. Then you have, once your lid's off, you have your cover, which will cut your flame down, and that's all the way open. Your flame comes out from here, you fill it here. Typical alcohol stove. You can make these, but these are actually pretty nice. If you don't need that hot of a heat, you can always damp it down. Just remember, when you're damping it down, this thing will be hot, so you'll want to move things around with a stick, or if you want to open it back up, that might be a little more of a trick. All you do is usually flip it off, let it cool a little bit, open it up. Same way if you need to put it out. Flip it off or close it completely up, because it's got a little bit of a holder tab. So with it on the stove, that'll be somewhat difficult for it to close up, as that's what it's designed to do, is hold it shut so it don't flop around when you're carrying it. And just drop it back on, and it should put the fire out. Alcohol, when it's burning, is somewhat difficult to see in daylight, just so everybody knows. So we're going to set some water in out of the little kit I put together. This is an Oasis canteen. Set that on top. And I'm guessing the alcohol will burn some of this sooty crap off. But as you'll see, another problem with this, it may, and this stove in particular, although with others it don't really, I don't think it would matter much, but this is a bit of a larger stove. Okay, now 91% alcohol it likes. You can get to 70%, just be aware that it will smoke a lot more, but it will work. So you pour a bit of alcohol in here, and alcohol only. This is a spirit stove. They do make one for other fuels. I'm not sure what. I'll have to get one just to try it. I'm kind of curious. Do not burn petroleum and stuff like that in here. Petroleum fuels, gasoline, diesel. It could end up very bad. And no point in getting a lid on fire if you don't have to. Okay, now with this, you get it burning, which it's burning, I can hear it. You won't be able to hardly see it. If you have any doubts, start high and you'll feel the heat on your hand. I can see it in the shadows over here more than you can actually see the flame. You'll see a little bit of flame and you can hear it. That's the problem with alcohol. You don't think it's burning, and that's where people usually burn themselves. It burns with usually a light blue flame. The orange flame is the impurities, because it's not pure alcohol. It has some water in it. So you get a bit of orange and a little bit of smoke, but nothing like you would with the 70 some odd percent. Okay, we're going to leave that open. We won't put the adjuster on it. We'll just let it burn, and we'll set this over the top. It fits in there rather nicely. Well, let's wait a little bit. As it starts burning, it'll heat the stove up. It'll start vaporizing the alcohol, and it runs up the walls, because if you look inside, you can see it runs pretty well down. The vapors will run up the wall, start running out the holes, and it acts like a burner. Fairly simple, just like the ones you can make out of pop cans and stuff like that. Same principle. This is just a heavier brass and made to be more permanent, just a little bit of a nicer setup. And on these, try to get as much fuel as you think you're going to need in it for a burn, because you'll have to put the flames completely out to add more fuel. You don't ever want to put fuel in it while it's burning. Otherwise, it will ignite your entire container. I can hear the hissing where it's starting to vaporize it on the inside. The stove's starting to heat up just enough to where it's vaporizing it. We'll put this on top. Looks like it's starting to form bubbles underneath already. It's been a couple of minutes and the water's already starting to get hot. It's not real warm out here, so it's not boiling, but it's starting to get tiny little bubbles across the bottom of the cup. And I can see a bit of steam starting to come up off of it, so that tells me it's getting fairly warm. And I can see by the flames coming off this alcohol stove, it's really starting to kick good. We'll pop this off and take a look. There you can see in the burners that it's starting to roll out of the burners. Let's move this stove. We'll move the stove off of it. There you go, it's burning actually pretty good. Move that. That's burning pretty much how it should. Set that back on. The purer the alcohol, the bluer the flame is. This is 91%, but it's not quite a rolling boil. It's starting to simmer. This you can actually run for quite a long time on a burn. And the nice thing of it is all you have to do is set this cap on it and put the flame out if you're looking to get heat longer. Add more fuel to it, take that cap off, light it back up, and then open this cap to how much flame you need to keep it like simmering or whatever down the road to get a longer burn, and just let it go, then put it out, and then you can let it cool off. And you have to let it cool off because this lid is O-ring sealed. If you try to put this on while it's still hot, you'll burn it out, and then it won't do is it'll leak. So let it cool off before you put this back on, and this will last years. Now put it out, set that on it. It should be out, and it's out. Now you just let it cool off. You can still smell it off gas and alcohol. Let it cool off to the where you can touch it, and you'll be able to tell because I can feel the heat right there, about that far away. And you can just let it seal it up, put it in your bag, put everything away, off you go. Smash the subscribe button such as you would you'll feel some foe.